I think we have two team comps that are pretty well established, and I think honestly very comfortable for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think if I'm Ultra Prime, I'm really loving the spot lane, though. Rakan, typically a pretty weak. Interesting note that about elected to take teleport. Not really a big surprise given the lane that you're seeing here. As they're trying to tag about, they do stun him up, looking to finish him off. The shield is not enough to save him. It's first blood.
Area. Monkey's making his way down here.
All right, Yao Yao just kind of peeking through, trying to hit some gleaming quills. And no Gumayushi here. So the dragon will go over to the...
take away from both a Yorick Pantheon combo as well as give to a Scion with the trade here on the bot side.
Yep, we jumped right on about. Look at the chunks that are coming through. It's the pickaxe, the longsword, and the kitchen sink as about falls for a second time.
Once again, it's just greed coming in from the WE bot lane. There's no reason for them to be stepping up with no insurance on that side of the map with objectives spawning elsewhere. They just don't really understand that they're, in danger here.
Saber getting over to his teammate. Shockwave down. Public execution is perfect.
That is moving forward, especially with those Pantheon ults potentially being there to back him up. For now, though, the question is, how much priority is going to be here on Dragon? Monkey's in the area.
Public execution. Nailed another one. The Shockwave's there, too. And the blink of an eye,
this guy's alone, we can just kill him, and now the dragon is completely free. Ultra Prime has looked fantastic so far in this game and at this tournament, and this just continues to push a lot of their positive narratives forward. This is a really good game state for them, and I feel like they're playing their comp out just about as well as they can. Get some gold back into the Pantheon that you were desperately going to need, but the Gromp resetting a little bit of Monkey
so
could be caught again.
Monkey, just because of the tether, he greeted for the Gromp. He's going to lose his life. Baya picks up a third kill.
I mean, it's disaster. It's mental errors over and over again for Monkey and for WE. About's been in some trouble, and here he is again.
All right, Liang Chen right on top of About. He just has nowhere to go. It's a Braum and a Scion, and Baya will pick up the pieces. Again, with full control of the river here. Herald going to get dropped down, and they're going to go for the crash as well. They want to take this turret. Liang Chen hanging around, but it looks like he'll head back up top to try to deal with Cube. The dragon should be started up by Ultra Prime.
Yeah, that's mid-turret. That is sole point for Ultra Prime. So long as they're able to take this dragon, it looks like WE want to contest. They kind of have to in this instance, but this is such a difficult fight for WE. Look at the cooldowns that are not available for them. Cube does not have teleport available to get here. He's one of the few pieces with actual gold.
Monkey turning around here. Now everybody's on top of him. Shockwave, but he flashes out. Public execution, and they're right back on top of him. You in a lot of trouble, though, getting very low, and he gets shut down by the Varus. And now Baya has to escape along with Saber as Karis is bearing down on the carries. Xiaoshu was left alone, and he will fall too as Team WE win their first fight of the game.
It is a major overextension from Luo EU that really ends up costing Ultra Prime. He sees the kill onto Monkey, but he doesn't have...
See if Ultra Prime can find another pick and try to get back to it.
Yeah, and they're going to need to stay active right now. Just a little bit of a duel on the top side. Liang Chen actually going to TP out. This Otacon has been started here by Ultra Prime.
Yeah, Cube has no TP, so this is going to be a 5v4. Chorus around the side for right now as the rest of Team WE try to muscle their way in, but they don't really have a tank. 7,000 HP and dropping. What a shockwave from Saber with the public execution of the knockups, and Team WE are getting wiped. Chorus is stuck in the middle of 4 members, and they have spotted him out, and they're tagging him up and knocking him down. 4-0. Triple kill for Baya.
It does not matter if you miss the first. It does not matter if you miss the second. If you land the most important shockwave, everything goes your way as Orianna, a massive play from Saber, somebody who's been absolutely dominant, quite frankly, for this team at this tournament so far up until this point. Baya now with 7 kills on this Lucian. The game felt like it was handed back to WE for them to continue to play out. Well, WE said, you know what? We feel good giving it back. Cube even going to trade his life for a turret
here. Gold deficit now. The scaling, it's hard to say it's on your side. Here we go. We're seeing Monkey make a play as they get on top of Baya. Baya's still alive, but he will finally fall to Chorus. It's a shutdown. He's looking for Xiaoshu as Monkey picks that one up. Quick picks for Team WE.
Yeah, it's nice to get some gold in return. They're going to continue to push forward here. Obviously, it doesn't change the entire game up until this point, but it is really nice to get that shutdown gold on Baya off the board, because that is a ridiculous amount now in the pockets of some important WE members. There's no objective to take quite yet, but
Oh! Just the tip! And About is gone!
He's just going, and the fight continues. WE's going in.
Yeah, Saber has no shockwave, so you're going to need the consistent damage out of him and this Ambessa, but they're getting chased off. Big triple knockup coming through.
Chorus.
But Saber doesn't quite have the damage. Chorus trying to escape through mid. The flash after him. More flashes getting burnt. Chorus is on a thread, but you're going to get the command dissonance. Speed up, yelling at him, but Chorus just able to escape.
Absolutely insane stuff. This game has very quickly turned into the fiesta that we know and love here in the LPL. Dragon is up now, and with that fight having been so catastrophic for both of these teams, can either of them full commit? Baya's here. He's looking for more. Liang Chen.
Oh, we are just going so over-aggressive here, but I do like it in some aspects, because a lot of Team WE members haven't had an opportunity to leave. There's that Chains of Corruption, but Yao Yao says, hey, it's time to go. Down to half HP. Here's the calling. Most of it blocked by the Gromp, saving the day as Saber walks out on a sliver.
It is insane, the value Dragon for Ultra Prime that is not contestable in any way, shape, or form. And that's sole point that puts WE now on an even 2 in the mid lane for that pressure. And they can use this to move basically anywhere on the map. Even the Yorick right now is not getting nearly enough in a side lane. The Scion once again just coming in clutch. This is generally okay for the Yorick to be able to deal with. But Cube, now he's caught.
Yep, everybody's going after him. There's that public execution as well. No healing is going to be able to save you. Saber picking up the third kill. Listen, he's just trying to split push with his cat ear headphones, man. Let him live.
Yeah, you know, we've all been there. I can imagine start soon. This is not going to get easier for them.
No doubt. Bias continue to do a good job. Here we go. About up too far again. It's a calling to the face. And the Lucian picks up 2 more. 9, 1, and 0. Skin buff.
There's nothing else to say. He's so enamored by the skin choice for Baya that he just has to keep getting a very close look of what the skin looks like in action. Unfortunately, it costs his life again, but that is Baron, completely for free. The bot lane gone, no way to fight over this. And if there was an easy way for WE to get back in this game, it is gone. Monkey gonna ult in, though. He's gonna try for the steal.
I respect it. You gotta go for it. He's not gonna get it, but you gotta try. This game looks mighty doomed.
Yeah, if that was the last-ditch effort, then I think the ditch has been dug. As we see the teleport coming down here for Xiaoxia just to get back out on the map. You know, even that split push win condition that you were talking about, now Baron is there. There's no way for this Yorick to be able to feel aggressive in a side lane. Monkey no longer has ultimate to be able to make plays either. You have to stall this out as much as possible. And the problem with that is that...
Force a fight. I love what Yao Yao's doing here. I think that this is a great way to win, but the problem is About is up too far again. Over the wall, 10th kill.
You know, at some point it does become a bit of mental boom. We'll call it as we see it, where, you know, I think by the 7th death, you're probably sitting there going, you know, this is just how it goes. Maybe a champion with a little bit more mobility in the next game for About. For now, he is going to have to look at a gray screen as Ultra Prime continues to push with this Baron buff into the bottom lane here. They are taking both of these inhibitor towers, and quite frankly, the base is likely next.
There's that inhibitor. Let's see if they're going to go help out Liang Chen. They are going to do so. That will be that mid inhibitor. About going to respawn at about 7 seconds. See if Ultra Prime wants to stick around, but they will wisely back out. They will head over to the Dragon.
Definitely the final nail in the coffin for WE. And now the question is just how aggressive do they want to play around it? They're looking for the steal again.
You got to try, right? You have to try, because otherwise you're just going to lose a slow death and bleed out. About is over the wall just trying to auto people, and Best is going to flash over the wall and eat him alive. Who's going to get this last kill? It's a triple kill for Baya. 13, 1, and 2. That's game.
Bit of a Lucian diff in this one in terms of how things broke down. A brilliant game from Baya, a brilliant game from Luo Yu, and a brilliant game from Ultra Prime that ends up really securing their spot here and giving them a lead in game number 1.
Yeah, this was a powerful showing out of Baya and Xiaosha. I mean, from the get-go, they got that early kill, and they never looked back, K-Man. I was very, very impressed. Locked in. I have to check the ages of some of these players. Cube, 23 years old, might get boomer checked. I don't know. Yao Yao, 24. Have an opportunity to go over and ward. They've got a great idea that this is happening.
Pings
have gone down on it. Teleport coming in for Saber. Meanwhile, some engaging on the bot side here is Yao Yao getting stunned up. Yao Yao's in big trouble. Baya's flashing after him, and they get the job done again. Baya and Xiaosha are putting in work in the spot lane. Hit him with the Q. If he hit that Q, I think he's shifting back in and ending it.
Yeah, it's not all that uncommon right now with the way that Malphite Jungle ends up wanting to play. There are a lot of interesting builds that I think you can go for Malphite in the jungle. I'll be interested to see the direction that he ends up going here. For now, it is a free Drake. This is what we were talking about earlier when we talked about that bot lane priority. This is how you use that.
Xiaosha, I mean, look at this. Xiaosha is in between the turrets, just trying to stop Yao Yao and about. I mean, here's a Weaver's Wall too. They're going for this play. Knockups are there. The recall went through. Yao Yao flicked back, interrupted, and the headbutt away from the minions makes it easy pickings. Saber gets that one.
Who needs grub priority when you can just kill the bot lane?
Dastardly things before.
I think it's a great call out that there really isn't any sort of gold deficit here. So we see a little bit of trading, some supportal combat. Saber's in the area though.
Yep, looking for some big damage. Knockup's gonna get onto the Saber. There's the knockup. Big one on the two members. And Monkey's in trouble. Saber goes over the wall. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Kars is forced to flash away. And now it's a 3v3. Yao Yao with a root. Hook back onto Xiaosha as they're looking to take him out. And he will fall. Saber and Baya couldn't do enough to turn the fight. This dragon. We'll see if Team WE want to move down, but it looks like they're not going to be able to in time.
Yeah, this is good for Ultra Prime. They continue to stack those dragons solo lanes, and these are pretty crucial areas for WE to be able to play through. The Rumble and the Syndra are both quite problematic for the Ultra Prime comp to deal with if they're not in the best of spots. But if you were ever going to fight as up, it is probably at this point in the game, as long as you have that go button available.
And we haven't seen Team WE take advantage of their
about
comp strengths just yet. There's that bullet time, but about immediately having to escape. He is running scared, stuck in the back of the pit. Everybody's on the Malphite, but he can't stop him before he gets the kill. And now Karis and Yao Yao are stuck. Karis, scatter the weak, just trying to do what he can, but he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and the kill goes over to Baya.
About might as well have a giant sign on him right now that says, throw.
No doubt, K-Man. Rift Herald now up. Ultra Prime moving up. Hook goes down. Perfectly landed onto this Ezreal. There's the redemption to keep him upright for now, but it's an enemy redemption as well. Baya falls, and now Monkey is looking to run over the fight. Saber will fall. Cube goes after Lo Yiyu, and he falls too. And in the blink of an eye, Team WE wipe away Ultra Prime.
It goes from
That's all right. They should be able to knock that one down and potentially break the dragon stacking.
Yeah, this is a huge, important get for WE. If they can stop the stacking of these dragons, things get easier, but Saber is here. They're looking
fine. Yeah, look at the other side. They're looking for Cube. There's an equalizer down, but it's not going to do everything you want it to. Saber taking a lot of damage, but his sidesteps are great, but he can't kill Cube as About comes through with a double kill.
That is huge for WE. This game more difficult if MF can just sit on the backline and bullet time. If you can make sure that you can keep the Malphite off of her, that is a problem for the rest of this Ultra Prime roster. And
it's for Ultra Prime. Sorry, it's now 5,500, and this turret's about to fall on top of it. The gold spilling into the pockets of
very fitting. Very festive here from WE to make sure that we're all in the spirit. But Otacon not getting to enjoy it as he's going down real fast here, below 5K.
Listen, he could just drop the ultimate Weaver's Wall coming through, but that might not be the only rock that's getting thrown. Hook goes down. Ezreal, it's there. Who's securing it? Up for grabs, and it's About that picks it up. Lian Cheng on top of Yao Yao, knocking him up, all outing him, taking him down. Kars dropping her ultimate on Baya, but he can't quite kill him. But he goes forward with the scout of the week, picks him up. It's About with a second kill, and he's full HP, and he wants to fight, trying to double up a couple members. He's got a triple kill, looking for Saber. That's a quadra kill.
No way.
Gonna be the GOAT. He's got the pentakill.
Pentakill for About, a player who we were asking, are you going against the wall? They had complete control of this game and they couldn't make the most of it. Can it pick on a cube, make things a little bit better?
What are you going to lose for it is the question. Cube going to go golden here just to try to buy any extra time that he can. Xiaoxia will be able to tank up this turret. Equalizer going to go down to make sure that you actually can't take the turret. And you're going to lose so much of the mid lane for this. You lost your Ezreal in the shove. The push is on.
Yeah, Baya's dead in the mid lane. He just was trying to solo stop them from taking that inhibitor, I guess, and ends up dying for his troubles. These are 2 inhibitor towers falling. That was so much time that Cube ended up buying. It took him forever to end up dying there. This is a huge win for WE. We're going to get a replay to see how this happens. He arcane shifts out, but it's just a flash hook from Nautilus. Yao again coming in clutch. Hook. Yeah, the second major hook landing onto Baya in this game as well. You know, it's really, we talk about kind of getting back into form here. Yao has had a fantastic second half of this game in that same vein, and WE are reaping the rewards as they take this dragon.
It was his most played the last time he was playing. No surprise to see that he is showing up.
Give that over to WE. You need to make sure you're in a spot to be able to fight that out. Now, Luo Yu is in actually a pretty strong position from a build perspective. He might not be, you know, third item yet.
There we go.
As I speak, oh, it's a pick.
Right on top of About, he's healing, but oh my goodness. He could not heal enough. It was close. It's a big shutdown for Saber, 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it's really relevant because that's the exact timer of Baron. That, you know, they will spawn.
Baron is getting eviscerated. Chorus with a nice scat of the week to keep them at arm's length. Luo Yu can't find a way in. Equalizer on top of it, and the rock gets broken. Liang Chen, a flash over the wall immediately, and all out now. Chorus is caught in a corner. He's going golden with the rest of Ultra Prime surrounding him, but he's going to be able to flash out now. Yao says it's time to start the fight on top of Xiao. There's that ultimate coming through. That bullet time. Xiao will fall, and the rest of Ultra Prime got to run for the hills. Monkey is going to use his Ragnarok, but he's going to go in, take a lot of damage, really trying to go after Liang Chen, but he will not be able to get a kill. Saber will fall to Chorus, and About is all about it. That's an ace for Team WE. A teleport in the mid lane, and we should be headed to Game 3, K-Man.
WE rebound from a demoralizing game 1, a rough start to game number 2, to take this one incredibly consistently. This is the team we were hoping to see come into this tournament. They were favorites in this series for a reason. They haven't always looked like it, but at the very least now they get a chance to prove it in a do-or-die game 3 for their tournament life.
5v2 ain't gonna get the job done. The Fountain gonna help out with that one. Double knockup coming through. Headbutt into the Fountain. Nice. There we go, Xiao. Well done to get that one on the backside. But ultimately, and listen, hey, Nico Ultimates plus Galio over the top, it's going to be a big deal.
I think that there's a couple of things to really point out here. Ultra Prime's draft is terrifying. To me, the Galio is obviously mirror match. Gianni, you were asking for it. You were pleading for a mirror match here in this blind pick. We are getting it. As we get some aggression coming in. Yao?
Yep, right on Abaya. That barrier is going to be burnt, but this is good damage coming through. Meanwhile, Cube flexing on Liang Chen. I am the better Rumble player.
It becomes a lot more difficult for the Ori to have the pressure, but the dive coming down. Yao's alone.
I love this, and they just blow him up. In the blink of an eye, they take him out. Well played there. But the Ultra, you're happy to have them, but they're not any must-haves like, you know, a Yorick if you had them on the team.
Yeah. This is definitely a game that's going to be a lot more determined by the skirmishes that end up going down in the mid-game.
And he's got the Ruby Crystal. Are you going to have the damage for that? Are you going to be able to go after this Kiana? Is he going to be able to stay in it enough vision? Well, it looks like he's just going to go for a solo ultimate here. Monkey having to level up, and Cube throwing the equalizer right on top of it, baby. 2-0. Escape, but he gets this other one down here. It's like so much that's been denied from Luo Yu. So we'll have to... hold on. Curtain call coming through. Baya finds the kill. About left his support out to dry there.
Yeah. You know, classic AD carry gameplay. Your support's on 1 health, and I'm going to run away.
Xiao
not flashing, in a good spot to flash.
Will flash right back. Oh my god! Oh my god! He put him in a blender! He put him in a blender! Balls on Monkey, but the turnaround's already here. They're gonna look for him, taunt him up, and take him down! Feat of warfare for Team Ultra Prime, and now Chorus is forced to flash away. My goodness, ankle's broken.
Somebody check Monkey. I think he's getting nauseous. I think he's getting dizzy. He's gonna fall out of his chair. That was disgusting from Xiaoxia. I have not seen a juke quite like that in pro play in a very long time, and it really comes up big for Ultra Prime. It lets them completely swing the fight into their favor. That should get them these grubs. Teleport is coming down onto the top side here from Cube, but I'm not sure it's enough. Baya is gonna start walking out.
Equalizer's up.
Oh no.
Yeah. This guy is toast. Baya with the barrier. He's forced to flash, but he's stuck in the corner. It's going to be another one for Cube. Nobody.
That's really the issue, huh? It's if you're going to pull the trigger on these big ultimates, you got to land on someone.
Blossom. Yeah, About is in a lot of trouble. Can he dodge out of the curtain call? Last shot. Barriers up. Hold it, but he missed. Bullet time on Xiaoxia, and he kills him. About in the 2v1.
Oh, it's a nightmare. You think that Xiaoxia and Baya comfortable going for this play for now. They're just going to give over this dragon. It will only be Ultra Prime's first. I mean, Soul is likely off the table as a huge win condition in this game. It would just be very late. Liang Chen? Could be in danger? No way.
Oh, he's cooking him. Huh. I think Cube might dive here. I think Cube might just take the 1v1 if
Yao Yao is here.
If he fancies it after he clears out this wave. But yeah, as you mentioned, Yao Yao is here. Xiaoxia is too. But he's posing as a Kiana, maybe just to scare Cube. Cube close to overheating.
Teleport.
Now there's a teleport coming in from behind. That's the Galio. So Yao Yao is going to Hex Flash over the wall to try to stop whoever's coming in, but you won't be able to stop that. Galio ultimate coming down right on top of Cube. But Xiaoxia is the one getting knocked up, getting stunned, getting pulled in by the Magnet Storm, and a big taunt from Saber, but he will not be able to keep his support alive. It's Karis picking that one up.
Cube is just too big right now. This guy melts through dangers, but that play on the top side, it feels like they've caught out Cube, but Cube is able to melt these engaged frontliners that need to go for it.
Paranoia.
Curtain call punished.
Right on top of Baya. And Baya is very, very dead with the bullet time over the top.
That's what you do. You see those low mobility carries. Utilize curtain call after he sees that he's able to land that W. He says, yep, sign me up, except, sorry, Nocturne's there to kind of ruin your day if you are the Jhin. So we see picture-in-picture.
Karis is almost dead. He's trying to help out. He's not able to get the job done. Monkey will fall. Teleport coming into the backside as Yao Yao is trying to stop Saber. Lands the stun. Equalizer means that there's nowhere for Saber to go. It's another one for Cube, but the turnaround is here. Can't quite land the kill onto Karis. Cube nearly overheated. Just trying to run back to that turret safely.
I would have been so upset if we went this entire time with some, regular games with a couple of comebacks, but, throwing it out of the rel. But at this point, this fight is almost entirely even due to the fact that Karis survived and we're right back.
Yep, darkness coming through as Monkey is on to Xiaoxia and will take him down. Another successful Paranoia play coming through.
This Nico is continuously getting punished. When he dives onto the backline, things get a lot easier for this team to be able to play out even 4v4s from that point on.
Here we go. Shockwave lands. There is almost a pickup. They haven't quite gotten the kill yet as the Kiana will finally fall. Xiaoxia coming through with a big double knock up as Baya trying to do what he can, but it's just not enough. About's got 2 kills. Here's the equalizer looking for the turnaround as the Liang Chen, but Cube is going to drop an equalizer of his own. Not doing a ton of damage, but he flashes over the wall, and About picks up another one. Bullet time just now coming through, and here's the curtain call. Cube just trying to make sure that he's the only one getting tagged up by these. Team WE 3 kills for nothing. Scalio, Monkey's got the ball on him. He got the shockwave available. And it's time to go in. Lights are out. Who's home? Right on top of the jungler. You take the objective too. Curtain call coming through, but it's not going to kill anybody. And things are going disastrous for Ultra Prime. They're trying to get something on the backside here, and Baya gives his life for at least one. But Xiaoxia is low. He is dead. The taunt on many for Saber, but he will get nothing. 5 for 2. That is an ace.
That is an ace, that is an Otacon, and that is control over the entire series here for WE. Here to clean up, and WE are here to move on, or at least push their way closer and closer to stage 2.
Another one. Get him. Baya is dead.
I mean, at this point, that gray screen is becoming a familiar face for this Jhin. As WE continue to push forward, they are not done. They are not complacent with what they have taken on the map at this point. Wave crashing mid. This should be the tier 2 tower going down.
Yangchen could find himself in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be forced off. Slowed up a little bit too, and exhausted. They are going to try to kill him. Equalizer goes down, but it doesn't matter because the bullet time is just that much stronger right now. 6-1-3 for About. I think we have figured out About's champion.
Yeah, it's the trigger pulling that I'm so excited by. The last thing you ever want to see from a player like Monkey is fear, is any sort of passiveness. I've been so happy, been so glad to see that he's been just as aggressive as we could ever want from him out of that jungle position. This Dragon now going to get taken for free by WE. That is sole point. WE wants to try and push forward. They have so much combat power. They're going to use it.
Here we go. And so it's just Monkey here on top of Saber. You can see he's trying to chop him down. It's taking a while. The shockwave comes in. Saber not landing the knock up there, but he is forced completely away. Here we go. On the backside is Xiaosha with the curtain call on top of the Galio as well. They're fighting in the choke, but Team WE are winning anyway. Equalizer comes in. It does good damage. Are they going to be able to get this kill? Yao Yao will fall. Ends up being a 1-for-1 for right now, but Ultra Prime are not quite done. They want more. They need more, but they're not going to be able to get it.
That is a big mistake from WE. They're sticking around. They could want to look for something else here if anyone ends up overextending, but they fight in the exact spot where Ultra Prime are the most likely to succeed, and that is in that choke point. Basically, all of that AoE damage landing onto WE, even so.
Oh, Cube is ready.
More. Yeah, Cube is ready. Doesn't have the equalizer available, so it's going to be tough for them to punish this fully, but Baron is on the map if they want to try and delay these Ultra Prime resets.
Yeah, you can see they're a little scattered. Maya taking his back here.
Yangchen.
Okay, we're going in as Monkey. Yeah, good point out there as Monkey will be able to find the kill and will be able to escape.
I really thought that they didn't have the damage after that Orianna Shockwave ends up going a little wide, but it is just a Rumble at the end of the day. Not the most difficult champion to end up breaking down, and they are able to get the pick. They're able to get the kill, and their eyes are now on the Baron.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to push forward. Cube!
He's going to lose his stacks! He had 18. I was just about to say, oh man, he's stacking up. I didn't even have to say it. I just thought about it.
Need to look for the fight if they want to take it.
All right, now the big question is, do they want to stop them at the Baron, or do they want to go to the Dragon because it's up? Here comes Team WE. Shockwave lands. Down goes Kiana. Now the next target is going to be Yangchen. Baya trying to escape through the jungle. Here's Karis. There's the Pop Blossom. It's only on to Karis. The knockup coming through with Saber, and they manage to find him, but the Rumble on the other side will go golden, but he will not survive. About picks that one up. It's now a 4v3 as Monkey is looking for a little bit more here and not able to get it. But they will start up this Baron, K-Man.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It didn't look quite as clean as maybe you would want. The curtain call is going to get dropped here. Baron going down to sub 8k here. Xiaoxia still here, but with no ultimate.
Holding.
Not going to be able to take this. This should be free. Bullet time getting dropped.
Yep, and they're just going to go and burn everything they can to take it. The taunt is here. Saber went in. He's gone golden over on the backside. A death, but Cube is burning them alive. Xiaoxia has to use the clone to try to escape. Saber's caught in the pit, and About's auto attacks just do too much damage at this point in the game. Baron secured for Team WE, and it should be but a formality now to end the game as Xiaoxia will fall.
The last gasp for Ultra Prime at this tournament has likely been taken. Unfortunately, they just WE, that is Baron, that is Ocean Soul, that is full control of the map, that is 9 kills on your Rumble, everything going in favor of WE here.
And it's a pushing
Really play the game, and Xiaoxia finally making his way in here. They are going to get the pick onto Karis, but it's so too little too late. And now we see WE marching down, taking the inhibitor here in the mid lane, as bot lane is under siege as well.
Well, Ultra Prime need to regroup and make a last stand because it is not looking too good, K-Man. There's another inhibitor down. Team WE looking to move on here. The siege is on. We're going to see at least one last 5v5. Saber trying to do what he can to get rid of these buffed up Baron cannon minions. The first turret will fall as Team WE are squeezing the life out of Ultra Prime.
Yeah, it is just slow and methodical. Xiaoxia once again on the flank. He could find a nice angle
He's
here.
on the ward.
Bolt's dropped.
Lights are out. Kara's taking a little bit of damage. We're going to push them all the way back into the fountain. There's the Pop Blossom on the backside, but it's not really going to do all too much. Xiaoxia going to get immediately bursted out. Knock up here onto Monkey as he's going to pop that GA, but the second Nexus turret will fall. There is nothing left. Team WE are the ones going up, up, up. This is their moment. They're headed on to stage 2.
It is a golden victory here for Team WE as they take this series 2-1, as they keep their hopes alive in Demacia Cup. And as
like the grab, and we're going to answer it with Gnar. I haven't seen Gnar too much, at least in the Demacia Cup so far, so always happy to see that. I think Gnar is still very prominent, very powerful, and I think it fits.
What does Rio choose to do here? It's mostly about playing for the scuttle, but it's going to be a little bit tough. You can see Zahen is already moving. Also, Rise is in fog.
Gonna try to start a fight over. Already going down to about half HP. Wukong in a little bit of trouble. Already having to blow a flash. Rise looking for the rune prison. Unfortunately, just not able to connect as we go back in. And Bessa looking for a kill. And this starts off with a bang for sure. And Bessa, one of the scariest jungles. The ultimate of Rise. Pretty good opportunity. Unfortunately, they were able to stick the landing. And now, most importantly, we do have the Void Grubs up. And, you know, Harry's going to have a harder time making it to this objective, being having that flash down. At least it's going to be a bit more risky for it. Wukong going to go in, trying to look for the distance, but going to take a rune prison immediately to the face, only getting one cyclone off as we're chomping at the bits over here for Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan going to take a bullet time, though, directly to the face as we're trying to buy a little more time here for Leona. We go a little bit back and forward, still trying to pick, not really committing so far. Public execution get activated on the other side as Talia comes in, grabs a kill on top of the Varus. We're trying to absolutely tear this team to pieces. Still has opportunities to go either way, but it looks like LGD in trouble. Their health bars are starting to leak slowly over time. Alistair trying to buy a little more time for Saucy. Saucy is still up, but I don't think we have the damage just quite yet. That control is too powerful as we pick up more and more kills on the other side. Spot them on top of a ward, but we're going to have a hard time going in. So, you know, like you just said, this is going to help accelerate this Rise, which is exactly what LGD wants. Rise is still very, very prominent in plenty of these team fights. Absolutely has a good amount of hands to play with it. Always happy to see it off. But, you know, the other side, when we look at it, OMG, we've got 2 of the kills right now on Talia. Talia's definitely accelerated, and while she doesn't always do an insane amount of damage opposed to someone like maybe Azir, you cannot underestimate the control, especially because she still has plenty of burst, and you know, her and you did express a little reservation for the Gnar into this team in particular, and I do see that, and I think there are plenty of angles to go for it, but if we're able to farm them for a bit of cash, that could be nice. But Harry's got plenty of time to go out as we take Saucy already down to about half HP. Hung doing sort of the same thing, taking a good chunk. Redemption coming down, unfortunately hitting no one as the Cyclone going to get activated, trying to go in. Saucy trying to buy a little spacing here for them as the Solar comes down. We do miss it, but the Mbessa does end up getting taken down, and also as well, Alistair had to blow his ult for safety.
Nothing to do there. I mean, Sasa was trying to get the Cultivation of War. If he gets that passive, maybe there's a little bit of room there to play. OMG for Tanyu, and they thought they could go for a little bit more than maybe they actually had, maybe some more dip on their chip than they were expecting. Haichao can use his ultimate to cut this fight in half. The Herald is going to be taken, and neither top laner is going to be able to join.
Still looking for some sort of fight to pop out. The bullet time's going to activate, trying to lock down the Mbessa, and indeed, we're going to knock it back immediately into a world of hurt. First kill is down. This is a 4v5 at best, so we got to watch out for it as the Weaver walls come in to add a little bit of insult to injury. Saucy in a bit of trouble. If we can just barely get out of it, yes, we do, but that's really unfortunate. Another 2 kills going to OMG.
And they completely stuffed the play there. OMG, they get those 2 kills, and the Herald went over to LGD. They never picked up the eye. So they're incredibly now down in tempo in this game. I mean, down 4,000 gold at the 18-minute mark. They're going to lose another turret here, so it's another 300 on top of that. The second dragon of the game's going over to them. I'm very worried here for LGD.
Getting close to that 20-minute mark as the blue buff goes down. YCX looking for something to try to help here. We're going to activate the ultimate for Alistair, trying to keep ourselves alive. Redemption coming down, but it's going to be a little too late as the bullet time comes in. That control is just too powerful for OMG, and Saucy once again just kind of isolated from their team. We're really just floundering as the Weaver wall comes up. So does the Cyclone. Flash over the wall, but it just buys us a couple of precious seconds. Rise there, trying to get out with an ultimate, but unfortunately, we're going to miss it. However, the Cavalry is here. The Rune Prison coming down, looking for the damage. Talia in trouble as Rise does it again, picks up a kill. Saucy doing the exact same thing, trying to lock down this Wukong. Yes, indeed. It looks like we're slowly turning this around. The Cavalry coming in last second because Harry is in the bot lane.
We thought that the Rise ultimate being stepped out of was a mistake, but Tangyuan knew that his teammates were right on lockstep with them. Moves into the play. Another turret will fall here for OMG on the opposite side of the map. No teleport for this Gnar. Turns into an Otacon for LGD after taking 2 kills there. Thankfully for OMG, they're going to get a lot of gold on the rest of the map. I think this is a pretty decent trade when you think about the items they're going to be able to complete. Maybe getting closer to those 3-item cores. If they get a third turret, then I think this Otacon was definitely not worth it, even with the deaths.
I don't see any way we don't get the third turret, you know, unless there's an absolute Christmas miracle. No Christmas miracle.
6 minutes of the game are going to really be where you make or break your stance here in this game number 1. Remember, this is the battle for first here in Group A, and incredibly important as we move further into Demacia here in this game, but he also hasn't really needed to, because with his Bloodthirster and with the way that MF kind of stays in mid lane, she can just walk up and 1v1 a lot of different AD carries, and Sasa's again under threat.
Oh, gonna get knocked into the wall, going down about half HP already. Ryu here to add insult to injury. Gonna try to take them down. There's gonna be the passive activate, but we're gonna have a hard time getting out of it. We do have a Rise here, but unfortunately we're gonna miss that as the Cyclone does indeed get activated. So we're able to buy a good amount of Chime as actually the Wukong ends up going down, and it may be the Gnar as well as Rise goes to the other side, but we're gonna run immediately into the Varus. So this Gnar's in a bit of trouble as we get taken down, chunked, and destroyed. 2 kills.
Oh, they're gonna go for Baron
for LGD.
Oh,
TP
wait a
in.
minute. Sauce's
Double
here.
TP
He has no
in.
cultivation. I think this is just OMG getting chased out of the pit here.
Absolutely. Weaver wall to safety, but it doesn't matter because the Rune Prison's going to knock you out of it immediately. Talia on the run, having to blow a flash, and we can go for a bit of a stagger as Starry looking for an angle here, trying to lock down the Varus. Poor guy is just not allowed to walk anywhere without dying, but the Baron should still fall for LGD.
I was very worried about the Cultivation of War there, that revive passive for Zehen. Sorry, I don't think you're doing anything in this play here. Haichao's going to teleport in. Rio and Moham are coming soon, so LGD need to get out of this pit, and they need to get out of here fast. That's a Baron, and that timer is going to run right into this Dragon that's spawning. If they can survive this, if they can get out safely, it's a big play. OMG, though.
I don't think we do as Wukong goes over the wall. We just need to get that Cyclone in range if we can, but we do not have it up because it's 6 seconds on the clock till it's ready. And we do manage to escape with everything intact, losing only the Varus, but he did get taken down beforehand. And I did want to highlight, you know, I know that Starry was trying to get a kill on top of the Varus and get that number advantage, and sure, it definitely helped, but I've got to imagine if we had bullet time when Baron was up, that might have been a difference.
Or LGD, they can even get the mid-tier ones, so this was a very intelligent map play coming in from the Rise, and we'll have Dragon spawning in a few minutes here about for OMG.
Well, and Tong Yuan has been building himself up quite the war chest. I think he's been performing really well in these team fights. Okay, we're going to pop 2 ultimates down for each support, so there's going to be tools no longer available for us ready to go. The positioning is not super great for LGD, but they are in friendly territory as Change of Corruptions whiffs entirely.
YCX, he has all of his wards available to him. Same cannot be said here for Moham. Has no control wards, has very few. He has none left in his inventory here. Hunks have to get over this wall. Remember, there's no flash on Tongyuan, no flash on Xiaoya, but same can be said for OMG's side. Great Weaver's Wall from Haichao.
There's the Weaver Wall indeed coming in. We do still have bullet time ready to go. We're really waiting for an opportunity as the Drake goes down to Wukong. The fight finally does kick off as the exhaust comes down on top of Zan, able to do a good chunk of damage, but it looks like LGD is just in a much better position. Wukong just sort of left here fighting on the other end. We do pop the passive once again for Zaheen, but it just does not matter. Saucy taking about half of his HP in damage, and that does turn it into a weird 1-for-1 trade, but that is in OMG's favor because
honestly, they have all the cards in their back pocket. There's not too many wards here from LGD in the river. It's just a single Scuttle Crab activation. Global Red is nice, but they can very easily just turn here.
Starting a fight as the bullet time comes in. The flash to safety, but it looks like we're going to have Wukong on the other side waiting for it. Rise popping a little bit of TP down there, trying to regroup a bit of his team, but that's going to be 2 down in a very, very fast flash. And now we have Baron on the table.
That's it. That's just the Baron, and honestly, that's just probably going to be the game here. I mean, Elder spawns in 25 seconds, and there are 3 members of LGD alive. Changwon with no Realm Warp to reposition. Hung still has a Poke-like Execution, but you can see that LGD have no space to walk on through. They'll take this mid lane wave, and it's going to be Baron for OMG, and maybe even that Elder afterwards in 10.
Moham definitely sensing that, knowing that we are in a 5v3, so able to play as the ward, as the Hexatech Gate helps and to make a close little bit of distance. We're looking for the damage on Rise. Unfortunately, we just did not able to stick the landing. That's a little interesting.
Oh, no.
Sasa might actually get caught again. This is really, really devastating. We have Baron buff still up again. We close the distance. Gonna try to turn the fight around, but we just do not have the forces for LGD to really contest it. There's gonna be the public execution as we go in, buy a little more time. That passive didn't get popped there for Wukong. Able to do a good chunk of damage as Starry is able to absolutely chunk the competition. A lot of damage back and forward. TP coming in. Tung Yuan able to find at least a good chunk of the damage. The Cavalry is here. Can Varus tip the scale in their favor? It's going to be a hard ask for sure. Once again, we have a hard time closing the distance and getting here on time as 3 kills go to OMG. Weaver's walled, add insult to injury, locking down the Rise, or locking down the Varus is going to take him down. That's really, really unfortunate, and this indeed might already be the end of game number 1. Look at that gray screen.
Baron enabled. Harry completely turns that fight. Kind of the first time we really saw him in a 5-on-5 make a big impact in this game. Those are some pretty big minion waves. That's double cannon minions, and you've also still have Baron. I feel like we could have taken the inhibitor there as OMG, but they're going to opt for the Elder. They're going to be wasting a lot of this purple buff that's on their backs, but Elder is going to be a great way for them to end out this game. They're going to have to reset, however, and waste a little bit of that time. LGD will respawn.
Disjointed the entire game over and over and over. Like, how many times did the Varus arrive to these fights last, or just with no mana, or just dead, right? You know, it happened time and time again. And you know, that was another good example. They arrived extremely late. Ooh, bullet time, gonna lock him down, but we're gonna pop the Zhonya's immediate. Tung Yuan able to buy themselves a little more time, but it looks like we're gonna put a whole bunch of resources there, trying to lock them down as the Wukong goes in. Cyclone gonna get activated. Saucy is still alive, but it's gonna be a moot effort, and indeed, end of game number 1 is on its way as tower after tower goes down, followed shortly behind with the Nexus OMG taking the first point of this series.
OMG, just a solid game. Nico has so much explosive power and the ability to just kind of warp a game instantaneously.
I'm a little worried, though, when we look at the combination between the Scion and the something happens kind of thing. So that's not real surprising whatsoever. We want to get those levels as we clear out the camps and go for a couple of more things on that much-needed ultimate to really pop off. But the other thing, though, too, is we don't really have vision other than the pink inside the...
crit damage. We'll have access to a little bit more attack speed, but won't have things like the Kraken Slayer that'll help him punch through a champion like Scion later on.
Trying to make things happen. The flash over the wall. Pop Blossom at least catching one so far. Ooh. As the Crescent Guard going to get activated. Going to knock back to the other side. Nocturne going back in, but unfortunately, it's going to go immediately to his death. And the first kill finally hits at the 14-minute mark.
Which will open up a bit of a timer here. They'll grab the Herald, and then they can make a play for the Dragon that spawns very soon afterwards. We're going here from OMG.
Nocturne turning off the lights as we get absolutely shredded. Pop Blossom goes in, but it hits an absolute goose egg. That's going to be a little unfortunate. Starry has to go out of the fight as Yanara tries to close the distance. We do pick up a kill, but it's going to cost us our lives. Just needs 1 or 2 more shots. Nico is able to pick it up as Scion absolutely rocking player after player. LeBlanc looking for the damage, having to go back on the other side. And Scion sent to the bouncy castle.
The Herald gets picked up by Sasa, but the kills where they land and the overforce there from LGD, Moham gets completely stuffed there. That was a great ultimate from Hung. That Crescent Guard Soul.
Infernal Soul, the entire team is going to love for obvious reasons. We're still looking for a number advantage, not taking the objective just quite yet. Or at the very least, just trying to take a couple of camps away, deny them for the other side. Scion looking to start a fight over here, going down to about half HP. No response here for OMG just quite yet. Scion just takes so much damage and does indeed go down what feels like for free. Nocturne going to turn off the lights as we try to lock down and go. And we do actually find the real LeBlanc, but we cannot close the distance just quite yet. Yes, indeed. We are able to grab it there on Azir, picking up 1 for kill. That is a 1-for-1 trade. What a weird interaction. Scion going down, just no real response. And then the same thing with LeBlanc, and we still got to fight over here for this Drake.
I don't think this is very free. I mean, Starry could always fly through with the killer instinct. This is dangerous here for LGD. They don't have a ton of buttons. Also, Moham, half HP, doesn't have flash, but he does have Pop Blossom.
Bouncy Castle is up, locking down the Nocturne. There's going to be the Crescent Guard. Drake is still up, but it doesn't matter as the Nocturne goes down. Azir going to about half HP. This should be a free Drake for LGD. And yes, indeed, we're able to pick it up the first little part of Infernal Soul, and that's going to be a lot of much-needed pressure, a lot of tempo for debuff, I'm going to call it, because it mind controls teams into death. That debuff is indeed up. We're looking for the advantage as Nocturne comes in, looking to try to lock down the Inara, but we're going to fight them underneath tower. That's going to be a one-for-one trade the long way around, and I got to imagine losing Nocturne right before Autocon pops is probably not the best thing for your team.
Oh boy, well, that's going to be incredibly problematic. I mean, there's no Autocon for you to be able to kind of contest around, no jungler there, but Xiaoya is a big portion of their damage. Hung is going to start it anyway. There's a play in mid lane. They're going to just go for Sasa in the mid. Maybe go for mid-tier 2 or mid-tier 1 as well. Azir's on this side of the map. LGD are just stuck trying to answer both sides of the map, and they get nothing for it.
Yeah, Autocon's still up, still ready to go, and we've managed to split things up on OMG, pushing in the bot lane, pushing in. We're going to start there with the Autocon, not having a good amount of damage, but so far we don't see that it's going on just quite yet. Tang Yun doing a little bit of a hello as Autocon goes down about half HP. We do back off, maybe trying to lock down Sion. That wouldn't be the worst thing. Sion doing that sort of hammer and anvil thing that I was talking about before, sitting in the mid lane while his entire team's over here. We do have an ultimate to play. We do have a TP, so we can get in range extremely quickly, especially with Nocturne turning off the lights, but both sides are just looking for one little misstep. T1 finally going down for the first time for OMG as Autocon still doing a little bit back and forth. Azir slapping down his fake turret right there, providing a little bit of pressure. We're going to get taken down here. No. Okay, we have just enough time in order to get out as Sion goes in, but he's here entirely by himself. I know this is going to be a tanky person. Ooh, as Nocturne goes in, takes a whole bunch of damage. We are still alive, but over the wall, Tong Yuen able to pick up a kill. Autocon absolutely shredding armor back and forward. Neither side wants to fight inside this debuff. One-for-one trade so far as both junglers go down, and we're still trying to take the Autocon.
Moham does have ultimate here, but he doesn't have flash, and this Azir turret is getting so much work done for them. Azir plus Kai'Sa, they shred this objective.
Speaking of shredded, look at these HP bars as more and more go down. Pop Blossom on 3, but do we have a follow-up? No, we do not, as Starry is not in range. Autocon still absolutely up. 8 seconds on the clock for both junglers. We do pick up a kill. This Sion absolutely paying out dividends.
Starry!
As YCX looking for a kill, but only going to fight death instead as the Q comes in. Kai'Sa picking up a double kill. Can we get the triple? No, unfortunately we cannot, as Flash to safety, but the Autocon ultimately goes down.
Starry grabs the Autocon and he completely... The bottom lane wave, because they have this Azir turret, it's so much easier for them to play. So now they get the Autocon, and we still have a dragon. OMG now win big time on these objectives.
And pretty good Pop Blossom. A little sad to see there wasn't an insane amount of follow-up, but that was more time in the sun. Starting to fight now as once again Sion goes in. Crescent Guard getting activated. That's going to be ult for ult. Bouncy Castle coming down and going down just as quickly. Nocturne turning off the lights. And now we're looking for a angle to start the siege here on mid tower. This is a good spot for them to go over. It looks like Tong Yuen looking for an angle here on the backside. Going to run directly into two pinks. Harry taking a good chunk of damage, getting super close to going down, but still that tankiness coming in clutch, those stacks continuing to build. And something I wanted to double back to is Harry, that previous fight, sat on Autocon the entire time. That's a lot of tankiness.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of the shot clock of this game. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be giving 3 items. You don't want to get to a Sion who's at that point and getting 3 items. They'll get the tier 1 in bottom lane, but this Baron is very, very important right now. I mean, OMG, they have such great ways of...
Literally the same people, having sort of the same matchups as they run into. Finally, it looks like we're going to crack the T3. Going to take that down. That's going to be some much needed...
He'd have a Sasa teleport come through. Tong Yuen has his teleport ready, but he's leaving base now. Look at how fast this Autocon disappears.
TP coming in. Nasher looking for an angle to lock them down. We do the little spear to say hello, but OMG, I think it's just trying to bait this out. Reset on Nasher as we go back down to half HP. Gonna do a full reset for that one. Tong Yin poking in, saying hello, trying to get this pink ward down. Fight for that vision. We do have fake Nocturne over here in the background. We're gonna start a fight there as Zen goes in.
They can't see
Moham. Activated. We're gonna go on the other side. Pop Blossom on 4. Is this the opportunity to turn around? OMG, looking for the damage. Azir comes in for the 1-2 punch, and we're looking for the ace, and there it is! Full team wipe! What a fight!
5-for-1 trade, didn't even care about the Baron. OMG played that incredibly well. The vision denial from the Nocturne. They don't even see Moham in the back line, and he lets it rip with a Pot Blossom. That'll be the inhibitor going down, and with the long death timers, this might be the end of the game. OMG might just take this in 2 games.
Absolutely, and there's just nothing we can do. Yeah, there's no response. We got 6 seconds on the deal for Karma, and you know what's she gonna do? Go in there, pop down an empowered Q, and then immediately die. Yeah, both towers down. Couple of seconds, Karma is up, and
That's
yes,
it.
indeed, we're looking to 2-0. This is the end of the series. Kind of a night and day difference. We didn't go to a 50-minute mark, Alk.
And I'll call it.
Immediately for TT.
This is good. Has a decent spread into the Renekton, and the value that you get later in this game I think is great. A problem that and then you can kind of be a bit of more annoying, but maybe you just took a few too many bad trades. Well, WX.
Speaking of bad trades, MF taking a good chunk of damage. Ryan trying to close the distance, trying to lock him down. And yes, indeed, we're going to be able to get the MF almost for free. First kill going over to TT, and soon to be the second one. This should be plenty of opportunities. Yes, indeed. And that's a lot of gold over for ThunderTalk on the Varus.
Down, and then everything after that is kind of a tough ask afterwards. So some small mistakes from TT early. We go back into live, and Keshi has teleported bottom lane. There's no summoner spells for LWX. He died on this one.
Gonna look for some sort of angle, but we should have plenty of damage, especially with the conjunction with Varus coming in there, throwing a little bit of poke there. Right.
Lead, who outside of the kills, we're going even right now between him and LWX. So I think ZSM, outside of some early game woes, are doing fine. Here is the pain point though.
Ooh.
Now you've gotten solo killed. You don't have a ton of grubs, but you're going to get this next wave and maybe another turret plate, and there's no objective to play for from ZSM, so what exactly are we looking for?
A fight, apparently. Bullet time going to get activated, hitting down a whole bunch of people as Southwind has to go out. The exhaust coming down, trying to lock down Ning, able to pick up 1 kill on the Akali, looking for more. Finally putting a point on the board, at least for that mid laner. Aatrox able to absolutely rock the competition. Fofo sort of left here holding the bag, going down about half HP, but it looks like the flash is going to be good, and at least a couple more members make it out, but that's going to be 2 relatively free kills for ThunderTalk.
Fofo, where is my ultimate, man? Like,
maybe
what?
I'm just old and blind. But we're going to maybe potentially see a 2v2 fight over, once again, another small objective. Ning going to about half HP as Jax goes in. Flash over the wall looking for the kill. We are indeed going to pick it up. That's a 3-0 Keshi, a 3-0 Jax. And now we can just probably turn around and take this tower.
Oh, he literally left it, too, to squeeze even Death Brush that they were trying to set up. ZSM and even get to try to make the squeaky play that they were looking for. Now here's something, maybe on the feather.
Starting another fight, Ning going in, but it looks like most of the attention is going to be on top of the support, which is not what you want. As Akali goes in, able to rock and deal a good chunk of damage. Fofo going down about half HP as Akali responds to help out their teammate, knocking down another one, and that's a long-winded 1-for-2 trade in the favor of ThunderTalk. And the big thing, too, is Keshi is still here knocking at the door, continuing to keep this Gator in top lane. That's a level 13 Jax into a level 11 Renekton. That's a bit devastating.
Yeah, thankfully for Allah, the wave is underneath his turret, so he gets to farm some of it. Second Dragon goes over to ThunderTalk, and a big win for them as they pick up 3 kills off of that. Maybe even going for a mid-tier one as well. ThunderTalk can do essentially no wrong. I think their drafts are just, or this draft in particular, is doing them a lot of favors thanks to the matchups. It doesn't also go as well. More of a facilitator. LWX kind of is like the secondary kind of AD carry, or kind of the big carry there, but I'm not getting any of that from this composition.
Ning should just kind of die unceremoniously. I don't think there's anything he can do as he goes immediately into Keshin. And honestly, like, maybe just give the kill to Aatrox. I don't think feeding the Jax and making the Jax even more powerful. Because look at this. I just noticed this. This is now a level 11 Renekton into a level 14 Jax. It just continues to get worse, Alk.
No.
And we're dead on MF.
Run, LWX. Okay, now this is just a free kill. Now we're just now we're just playing with our opponents. I mean, we're 2 levels up. This game's cooked, guys. 8,000 gold lead, and we're already looking at inhibitors. Oh no, Keshi, keep going, brother.
Redemption coming down, picking up a kill, almost picking up 2 kills relatively for free. I don't know why. Like, it's not that Ryan has been doing bad whatsoever, but I forgot.
The way that franchises have worked in terms of just different kind of brands. I wonder how many of like the newer generation of like kids and people are going to know what G.I. Joe is, because that franchise has completely disappeared.
Yeah, you know, and I don't need another reminder that I'm old. So thanks
Or
thanks for that. That's something
He-Man was a big part of my childhood.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can. No one is going to know that. Maybe outside of like some of the memes that they see him in. They might know Skeletor. That's it.
Skeletor is still a constant meme. We're going to try to lock down Keshin, but we're just refusing to die whatsoever. This is a level 15 Jax, and he still almost picked up a kill. But even though we were able to get the shutdown on Jax,
we're going to continue this because this game's basically over. Producer Ilya, have you watched some Codenames Kid Next Door?
Ooh, that's
no. Okay, get him out of here. We got to get this guy out of here. It might just be you and me, Corey. Like, this is... Okay, we're doing this again on Keshi. This doesn't matter right now, guys.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, sure, we're spinning everything on here, but it's just, it doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to pick up a third Drake sort of for free. Feather's just kind of hanging out, you know, taking in the flowers, taking in the scenery. We can still easily pick up a good chunk of kills here. This is going to be a full 3v3, which is not in the favor of ZSM as we go in, picking up 1 kill, looking for a second kill. Ning going to about half HP, bullet time coming in, doing absolutely nothing as the Haru goes back in for the damage. Ale trying to pick up a kill, but unfortunately it's just not going to happen, and we get a very long-winded 1-for-2 trade. Once again, Jax going
Second
down.
Time in this game. They did take the third dragon, so Junhao does have... They are on soul point, but... All right.
Feather goes
That's
in.
A freebie.
Pick up a kill.
Okay, they've gotten 3 kills now. They've gotten 3 kills in the last few minutes. I think ThunderTalk are definitely playing with their food.
Okay, we're going to start a fight over here inside the jungle as Aatrox goes in looking for the damage. Fofo going to take a whole bunch of this. Varus able to poke off another one, and just, I don't think there's any way we can win this fight whatsoever. It started out great, but just the wallet diff is absolutely massive. We're sitting at about 40k to, you know, 52k, so, you know, right around a 12k lead. There's just nothing ZSM can do, which is why we're focusing on a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff.
But this might just be the end of the game.
Yeah. Into game number 1 overall for sure. But what about Toonami? Did you grow up with Toonami?
There's no way he hasn't watched some more. Okay, but like Toonami's more of like a network, and then there's like a bunch of they just play shows. That's more like a distributor than necessarily shows. Although Toonami does have some great shorts in between. That's going to be the end of game number 1. Galio gives you a bit more frontline, and it really feels like this allows for Jace to continue on in the game. Ooh, wait a minute. Is this going to be Lee Sin top into Jace? That would be
so. That could still go either way. It looks like we did use the public execution, unfortunately, for them, and Lee Sin popping their ultimate down as well. We're starting to fight over here as the Alistair goes in. Southwind looking for the angle. Heroic entrance going to come in, but it looks like the Alistair's already going to be dead before that fight even really kicks off. We got a full response. Drake going to go down, looking for the taunt. Not going to be good enough, and at this point, ThunderTalk might just need to get out of this. I don't think you want to continue to do this. A couple more stacks getting built up here on the other end. Feather getting so close to going down, but so far it's not going to count. Rom passive almost there on Fofo. Just 1 or 2 more shots. We are going to need to pick it up. Go in. Jace able to absolutely do a ton of damage. Smolder able to pick up a kill there on their end. Now Ning trying to go around, flash over the wall.
What are we doing?
Brom tries to lock down this dragon. 1 shot there for the passive, and Smolder picks up another kill. ZSM now sitting at 3 and 2.
I don't know what else to say. That they're not really in range. They never got more of those concussive blows down.
I think ThunderTalk just sort of got lulled into a false sense of security. We did pick up a kill, it looks like, on the top lane as things just continue to fall pieces even more and more for ThunderTalk. Inara going down, trying to close the distance. We are indeed going to lock down Feather. Feather should be taken out there, and more kills fall to ZSM. Man, that is a little frustrating, and especially with a couple of those going on Lee Sin. So Ale is now officially online.
Get 3 grubs. Junhao's going to move into the bottom side of the map, start to take some of these camps. Maybe they catch Fofo in rotation. Haru can look. Oh, he gets that taunt down. Okay. Phase rush pops, though. Fofo should be fine. Oh, no.
We do have Keshias here, and this should be a pretty easy kill. Yes, indeed. So that's at least a point back in ThunderTalk's side. We are going to pick up the Void Grubs. It looks like we're going to pick up every single Void Grub for ZSM, so that's going to be a nice neutral objective. Even though the Drake did fall to the other end, it looks like Mbessa is not going to go for any play. It's just going to go for the reset instead. It's meta. It's just not as likely.
That's what I was saying for Ultra Prime, is that you're usually not going to be able to see them play meta too well, so just play what you're comfortable with, play some of the kind of off picks, because that is what's really going to give you success here. Now Keshi needs to be careful. Yeah, okay, he just gets killed. You're down an item, right? Like Ala already had the Eclipse completed. It's now done for this Mbessa. She'll TP afterwards, but you can see that ThunderTalk are falling a little bit behind.
Momentum of Soul, or the momentum of taking the objective to put things back in their favor, could be pretty nice. I do hope that Galio is able to get at least some good moves on. Ooh, Keshi got to run directly into Ale on this side, but I can't even imagine at this point that we're going to try to dive underneath tower right now.
Oh, what is Ning doing?
Ning?
Oh, Ning, please
Dying.
don't do this.
We're dying.
Oh,
Yep, we're just down. Braum
Okay.
passive too strong.
Now, Ala
Looking
could
for an
be
angle.
dead here. Public execution available. Here we go.
Okay, flash over the wall as Ale is able to keep themselves alive, but it
We're
looks like we've
diving,
got plenty of
boys.
opportunities to go for the dive. There it is. There's the snipe. There's just no reason it's not going to happen, and that's going to be some nice gold for Jace.
That is from back.
So it would be nice to try to find that position. We're going to use, once again, that objective to try to crack open one of these T1s and then try to snowball the game from there, at least objective-wise.
Herald's already been started. It's half HP right now. Lee Sin has Prow, and Fofo is now teleporting for this play. Don't think that ThunderTalk can get to the objective in time, but maybe they can look for a turn with this Galio ultimate.
Southwind in, heroic entrance, going to go on top of the Alistair, going to take him down. That's going to be a support dead on the other side as Ale has to go for a run, going to run directly into
Keshi.
Mbessa, but unfortunately we're going to miss the public execution, and now we're fighting a 1v2. The Cavalry's trying to make their way over here. We're going to be able to close the distance. There's one shot on the Braum passive too, as Ning gets isolated in the jungle, taken down, as Smolder just cannot close the distance. Ale trying to figure out where to run away to.
That was really smart from Feather and from Keshi. Both of them flashing towards each other. Now they're looking for Ryan. Remember, he has no flash. This would be a good kill going over to them. Stacks onto LWX is nice. Looking for another dive, but he's just going to kill Keshi. Oh my god.
Keshi. Okay, we don't die to the tower. We just die overall. Okay, the very long-winded 1-for-2 trade going in the favor of ThunderTalk, and very heavily so in the favor. Not only were we able to pick up 2 kills, we're able to get a tower, crack that open. I believe we should have...
Not yet.
Shelly down?
One more
Who grabbed
objective.
Shelly? No?
But they have to play through the bottom side of the map. They'll grab the tier 1 in bottom lane. It looks like ThunderTalk are not going to even bother to try to go for this play. Maybe with going on to Haru, this actually turns differently now, though.
But Haru doesn't even go down to about half HP, being quite the beefcake, being plenty of tanky. So we got Angles. Feather looking for a spot to go in. There's going to be the Q on Southwind, but unfortunately, we're not able to follow up too much as Keshi and the Lee Sin try to duke it out, looking for the damage. It looks like neither side wanting to really commit too heavily. Shelly going to get deployed for the response, and we're going to try to take the Drake instead. This is very, very good. If ThunderTalk is going for this Drake play, taking this will give them some precious, precious time. Another 5 minutes on the clock if we're able to grab it.
Okay,
Southwind
they grab
in
this
trouble.
one. LWX almost has his stacks. He's at 220. 225. Here's the execute now.
TP coming in, looking for the angle. Rise activating ultimate. It looks like it's going to buy time for Southwind to get out of there. I thought that was getting really close, but Fofo is in danger. This Braum continues to get closer. We pick up a Q and a death as Fofo goes down. We may have gotten the Drake, but we get taken out. But what I do like here is every time ZSM sort of falters a little bit or things happen, we're able to pick up another tower. We picked up the mid tower, the bot tower, and now the top tower.
They get a lot of gold, yeah, but they're going to lose Otacon here. I don't know if I like this, because the experience is necessary for ThunderTalk. Double teleports now. It's Fofo by himself up in 15. Ala comes through. LWX is here. They have the execute, and Ning's on the other side of the pit.
Is here. Ning does go over to the other side. Otacon getting so close to going down. We do, unfortunately, not get it as Jace takes it down. Now ThunderTalk's looking for their kills. The Dragon is in a little bit of trouble as the heroic entrance comes in, locking down the Smolder. Keshi wants this kill, but can we close the distance? There's going to be the taunt, but unfortunately, it's going to miss Q on the other side.
Watch for Smolder.
Kills going back and forward, and Mbessa going in, looking to mop up some of these kills. Lee Sin still trying to dish out the damage, trying to lock them down. Fofo in trouble, picking up a Braum. Braun passive as we miss another taunt, unfortunately, but it really doesn't matter because there's only one left. Ollie, why are you still here? Gonna pick up a kill on Braum and maybe get out? No way we get out of this.
No!
He gets out of this.
He lives. It's 4 for 2 in the trade. Otacon still secured there by ThunderTalk.
That's
So look at
necessarily on them, but I do think that is something noteworthy because we were really worried about them getting accelerated. Speaking of getting accelerated,
okay.
so looking for a gank over here, should try to lock them down. Ryze goes in with an ultimate. This should, okay. There's just no way. Reset indeed. So there's still plenty of opportunities for ZSM to turn this around because ThunderTalk, I think, is floundering just a little bit.
It's hard for them to get plays. Their composition is mostly focused on just team fighting around these objectives, and we've seen that time and time again. ThunderTalk have been better in the team fights, but the side lanes in this game are in the favor of ZSM. They'll push out that top wave. They'll trade it for a tier 1 in bottom lane. And the gold is incredibly close right now. We also haven't seen Junhao be too active in this one, at least for the time being, but he's a 3 ILs from ZSM are really in the area. They're going to look to give this one up or maybe even enter late into the pit. Oh, he's just going in. He's by himself.
Drake sitting about half HP. The TP coming in as Ollie looking for an angle to go in. There's going to be the public execution. The heroic answer to follow it up. Able to get at least a decent amount of knockups. This could turn this entire thing around, but ThunderTalk is able to pick up so many kills. Yanara able to get a second kill, looking for the third, trying to get the fourth, but unfortunately, Fofo is a little bit too quick on the ult, and we're the only one to stay alive. So we got 4 kills and a Drake. That's a little devastating if you're ZSM.
And look at the time on the clock. 25 minutes. Baron spawns. Yeah, we'll just take this one for free. Set a lot of expectations for LWX to kind of carry this team in the mid game, but he does 0 damage right now. Even with the execute, there's just no ability for them to actually find this. All are trying to get away. Thankfully, there's not too much to be joined by Haru. They'll look to try to use this Baron. Oh, LWX is almost dead here.
Braum ult as the passive for Braum does actually finally pop his Ryze, is able to get 2 of his members there to safety, but the siege is not over just quite yet. We've got 2 cannon minions to try to crack open the base, and just so much damage. We do definitely have the number advantage. Gonna take the T3, gonna take the inhib, and try to crack more and more of the base. About 29 seconds before LWX is even back on the map, so maybe we're even trying to end the entire game.
I think this is very real. Braum is providing a lot. Southwind is just dead.
Southwind goes in. Southwind goes down immediately. Fofo sitting about half HP to the Fountain to safety. The Rune Prism coming in, trying to buy a little more time.
Ning.
But unfortunately, we go in, get taken down. Public execution on Fofo, leaving Ollie here to back up the entire pieces. We've got so many minions, and this indeed is going to be a 2-0 in the favor of ThunderTalk's. LWX is here, but it's too little too late as we end the series.